Welcome back to Perth City Talks. We're here at a public forum introducing Greg Ross, an independent candidate for the March 9th elections.
A lot of it was based around the ignoring of the 14,000 votes from the people about the Esplanade, when I suddenly realised that we as voters were not important. We're just not a part of anything. We didn't count any longer. And I thought, there's all sorts of stories being told about us. And, the voters, the silent majority, that Nixon term, are really happy. They're not. We have a really good lifestyle here, outdoor lifestyle. It's a beautiful place to live. We all know it. It has been the world's greatest secret. So we're content. We're all earning good money, or most people are. So little things don't bother us until it's happened. And it's like the chap from Burswood tonight, where suddenly he's confronted with something that's destroyed his value system, destroyed his faith in a party. He now understands how the world works, and I began to get an awful queasy feeling.
Look at me, I've been a Liberal voter all my life. I have scrutineered for the Liberal Party, I've handed out how to vote cards for the Liberal Party, and I've stood at the polling booths for the Liberal Party. I can promise you that under a Barnett government, I won't be doing that again. I'm completely disillusioned with the way Mr Barnett operates unilaterally. My view is that he gets up in the morning, looks in a mirror and believes he's consulted with all of the appropriate parties. I'm not convinced that, notwithstanding the Cabinet has solidarity, that the Cabinet actually has any say in this government's decisions. This land's worth $95 million. What he's done is he's actually sold this parcel of land to Crown for a discount of $35 million. The valuation is commercial in confidence, according to the Premier, not for all West Australians to see. And the reality is that this entire transaction has just occurred without any consultation to anybody at all. The Premier has personally negotiated, from what we can see, this discount. No explanation for the discount. The Premier talks in terms of remediation of the site, yet the Premier himself's been on the TV saying there's no remediation required for the stadium project. How is it that the hotel requires remediation but the stadium doesn't? In fact, back in 2010, John Day released a statement saying that this golf course would probably not be touched for 25 to 30 years. It's a C-class reserve. It's a reserve for recreation and parks, not for sport. So the stadium itself is actually in conflict with its original intent. The hotel is significantly in conflict with its original intent. And in terms of the hotel itself, its proximity is within probably 40 metres of us. Burswood is proposing a balcony area of some 200 square metres. It doesn't take Einstein to work out that we're going to be confronted with a significant amount of noise from that facility into the wee small hours of the morning. Mr Barnett's been failing in his negotiations. He's failed at James Price Point, he's failed at Price Point, he's failed at Ockergy. Show me somewhere where he hasn't had to play bully boy to get what he wants. At the end of the day, we've got a situation where there's a group of people who are completely disenchanted with the development on the river. And the reality is that Mr Barnett unilaterally decided the name of the facility. Now, whether it's a good name or not remains to be seen, but the reality is he fails to consult on every single matter. What would I say to Mr Barnett? Wise up, man. You're making it up as you go along. And that's what we're challenging him on.
The very fact that 25% of the councils, now they've been amalgamated, have decided that amalgamation is not in their best interest, and they're now seeking permission from the government, because of course there's been a change of government there, to de-amalgamate. The problem, though, is the fact that they will bear the cost of that, which will be millions of dollars. I think the thing that's concerning us here is that Robson himself makes no claims that in fact there will be savings or tangible benefits. CEOs of councils at the moment probably earn around about $200,000 a year. Well, obviously, if the councils are going to be much bigger, they're going to go on to salaries of something like $400,000 a year. So what we're seeing is the costs just build up of amalgamation. And in fact, there had already been an independent review of council finances commissioned by local government minister Castrilli. And that quite independent review showed that the councils were all in a very good state financially and were offering a very good range of services. So why do we have to have amalgamation? What is the problem that's having to be fixed? The other thing I think that's very important to stress is that the size of the state debt now will actually take something like 25 years to pay off. So you and probably your children will actually be paying off this debt for years. And what do we have to show for it? It's not that we have tremendous infrastructure. It's only now they're starting to think about maybe we can improve the railway lines. We've had a huge amount of money going on things like Elizabeth Quay, the new football stadium, and so on. But these are not the things that are going to sustain this economy once the mining boom is over.
Arts and culture is a great thing for me. For a while I was marketing manager at Yuriaka and the Noongar Aboriginal Theatre for a period to help them out. So I'm extremely interested in arts and culture. This area is all about arts and culture. If you just go around to local community theatres, you see how popular theatre is. But then you get to our state theatre, and even the big companies like Black Swan can't afford to run in it. Something is wrong. Something's crook and tallyrook. If you've got a theatre that's there for the people, and you say, well, look, actually we need, I'm picking a figure out, we need $10,000 to switch the lights on tonight. I'm just picking a figure. Then surely what's more important for us culturally and as a community is you say, all right, you've got a performance to put on there, it's going to pull X number of people, it's $500 for the night.
I think we need not a happiness index, but a contentment index. And we need to become content with less material things and more spiritual, intellectual things, like enjoying a beautiful sunset or a walk in the forest, listening to the birds and looking to the wildflowers. So if progress means destroying these things, we're going backwards. And what this consumerism is leading to is the destruction of the more meaningful things, the more lasting things that will give us more contentment.
This electorate is so diverse. The electorate goes from an area of Darlington, then it comes down to take in most of Maddington. This electorate is a really hard one to deal with. So I'd have to come to cost of living as a major factor. I think that applies to everybody. And then aged care is definitely a huge thing up here. And then I go back down to Maddington, to trades and labour people, drivers, etc. They're far more worried about where the next dollar is going to come from, the price of rents. Mortgages are out for so many people. So let's put that into cost of living, and I come straight back to that. And somehow we have to deal with those issues.
What were the fundamental issues that were raised tonight that were of your interest?
Well, I think the question of DAPs is the most important one, where the councils will have no say and the other people will have the majority voice.
Do you believe Kalamunda might then amalgamate with other local surrounding areas and start up an Eastern Alliance?
I think they should. I think the people should amalgamate and get together and let their voice be heard. I think that's very important.
My concern is that we are so hooked on growth Well, the only thing that grows forever is cancer. So we can't keep on increasing our population, increasing our demands on the environment and on non-renewable resources. It can't go on forever. It has to come to a stop. And we should start thinking now, what are we going to do when the mining boom collapses? What are we going to do? We were left with lots of great big holes in the ground filled with polluted water. And the shareholders, who are mainly overseas, they've taken their money and left us with the mess. So we have to start thinking now, slowing down this rush to develop everything now.
They're talking all about road safety, and I don't know what's happened to road safety this year, but there are people dying hideous deaths every day. Now, I don't understand why. I see road rage on the streets every day, and I think there's something in there. We've got a situation of anger. We also have a situation where overall Perth people have not yet learnt to merge. They haven't got used to the fact that it's a very big motorised city. So when we come down to that tunnel situation, that is going to be a nightmare, because nobody's going to let anybody in, nobody's going to merge. Already the government has come out and said, yes, that terrible, dangerous person who did that video is right. We're going to have to drop the lid and say he's right. But they know I am. We're going to have to drop the speed. They've said 70. No, Troy, no, Troy. It's going to have to come down to 60. You're going to have to stop anybody passing. You're going to have to take large vehicles out of there. And then where are you going to put them? Where are you going to put them? Because you've cut the amenity of Riverside Drive.
You've come to the end of another episode of Perth City Talks. See you next week.